we are so thrilled to have you here tonight. It's just a wonderful occasion. It's an opportunity for women and men to make some choices about their educational goals and to help support one another. And we have a fabulous opportunity to be led by our First Lady tonight. So we have some very important things happening. My name is Ann Wyrapo. I'm the director of the Women's Success Center here on campus. And happily, we have a Women's Success Center. There's been a lot of sacrifice so that this could happen. We care about people achieving their educational goals and making a difference in their own lives, but in the very fabric of society. So it's, without further ado, let me just introduce our program to you tonight. You should have a little agenda, and it's going to be a beautiful program. I'm not in charge of everything. Haley is. Haley is our student. Stand up, please, Haley, if you wouldn't mind. Our student representative from UVU USA. She has put in countless hours to make this happen and has been so dedicated. So she is really going to be your MC for the night. I understand that President Holland is our clicker. He's going to be doing the technical advancing of the slideshow. So as well as being a representative male, he is clicking, and we are very happy about that. I'd like to thank Whitney Lunsford. She's with the UVU Women's Choir. She was playing the beautiful prelude music, and she will also pick that up at the end, so it just adds a nice feeling. And of course, Adonica Lamone has once again donated her talent to bring these beautiful, beautiful flowers to us. She wouldn't take any money for it, so I feel like I need to put some dollars somewhere, but she just is such a talented, creative individual. She's a success story in so many ways. She's been a part of the Women's Success Center. She's been an intern for President Holland, and she's going to be a success wherever she goes. So thank you for the beautiful, beautiful flowers. Again, we have some special guests with us here. Thankful to the women on the advisory board that are here, as well as my own boss, who I have to mention. Yes, Michelle is here. Once again, I don't think she ever goes home. I know that she lives up I-15, but I swear the woman is here 24/7. And we just have some really hardworking, dedicated professionals that I think help set that role model for the students, and I think we have some students that are every bit as dedicated as our professionals. So it's a thrill to have a blend of both, and community members that have joined us as well. What a privilege to be here tonight and to hear from Paige and some of our students. Without further ado, I'm going to turn the time over to Haley, and I'll let her take you through the evening. Thank you so much.
Hi guys, welcome to Ladies Night with Paige Holland. I'm just going to quickly introduce our student speakers that we invited to speak to you guys tonight to share their experiences and their thoughts on education. Our first speaker is Liz Miller. She's from Bountiful, Utah, and she graduated from Viewmont High School. She is currently a junior here at UVU, and she is majoring in aviation science, and she dreams of one day becoming a pilot for Lifelight. She currently serves on student council as the vice president of clubs and organizations, and she loves UVU and the students that attend here. Elizabeth Jarema is a senior majoring in behavioral science with an emphasis in psychology and a minor in peace and justice. She's a single mother of 5 children. Last year in 2012, she was awarded the Utah Campus Compact Award for the work she did to put together the first UVU Fiji Literacy and Sanitation Project, which was a huge success. On May 5th, a group of UVU students will be flying out to Fiji again to build a library in the same rural area that they helped out in 2011. She is forever grateful for the opportunity to attend Utah Valley University as an international and non-traditional student. So I'd like to turn over the time to Liz Miller.
Okay, I'm kind of nervous, so if I start shaking, that's why. When I first heard about this ladies' night, I got really excited and was like, oh yeah, female empowerment. Then I got asked to share some of my experiences here, and I got really nervous because I don't know anything about female empowerment. Because to me, gender never mattered. Like Haley said, I'm majoring in aviation. If you didn't know, it's a very male-dominated major. I'm usually the only girl in my classes. And I also ran and was elected to be vice president of clubs, like she said. In both of these areas, I've had a lot of interesting and unexpected experiences. And I'm going to share some of those experiences with you tonight. And I hope to convey some of the lessons that I learned through them, and hopefully they mean something to you as well. The first one I want to talk about is when I learned to look to examples of other women around me. To help explain this one a little bit, I'm going to talk about how I first got involved in student government. It all started on a fine summer day at freshman orientation. It was actually in this room. At our freshman orientations, they set up booths all the way around the room, and the freshmen walk around, they visit the booths, you kind of give a sales pitch, and they usually end with, "Come get involved in our organization." Well, the student government booth that year was a little less tactful in that end plea to get involved, but probably a little more effective at it. They gave me their sales pitch, and then they shoved an iPad in my hands and was like, "Put your name and your contact info in this box." So naturally I did, and I kind of forgot about it. And then the fall came, and I started getting texts from this crazy girl named Sarah, and I was like, I don't know what she's talking to me about. She started saying all these things that I'd never heard of, like blitz and apartment complex, whatever that means. And one of the texts she sent me said free food, so I was like, okay, I'll go. So I show up, I find out what she's all about and what her committee's about, and they were planning an event. I think it was Battle of the Bands or UVU Best Dance Crew, I don't know, something like that. Anyways, so I found out what she was all about and what they were setting up to do, and I started to get to know her a little bit. I still thought she was crazy, but nevertheless, I followed her through that committee for the rest of the year. And when spring came, she ran for student body office, and she got elected. And she encouraged me to apply for student council, so I thought I'd learned a thing or two about planning events, so I went for it, and I made it onto council. And I had another year to learn from Sarah, and I learned a lot. And then the following spring, I ran for student body office and got elected and have been able to serve this year with that. But if it wasn't for Sarah, I don't think I would have stuck with student government. I don't think I would have kept trying to achieve in it and move forward, progress in it. But because she did it, I knew I could do it. And nothing was going to stop me if it was something I wanted. She inspired me to just go for it. And like I said, because I had her example of success, I knew that nothing could stand in my way if it was truly something I desired. Recently, I was asked to describe the characteristics of a woman that I want to become. And I came up with powerful, confident, intelligent, and independent. Sarah was powerful, confident, independent, and intelligent. And to her, gender didn't matter. She did what she wanted to do. She helped me realize that I could accomplish those things as well, just as women around you can inspire you to do those things. Look to the women around you. They're incredible. There's some incredible women here tonight. Paige, Liz, Haley, they're wonderful examples of that. I mean, you just heard Liz is building a library in Fiji. She's amazing. But look to those women around you. They can motivate you. They can inspire you to see your potential and just go for it. Achieve what you set out to do. The next experience I want to discuss taught me that I couldn't be afraid, rather I shouldn't be afraid of the attention that sometimes you get drawn to you. My first day at school down at the airport, nobody sat by me. They all stared at me, but nobody sat by me. Like I said, I'm usually the only girl in my classes down there. And so professors come in, they welcome the whole class, and then they say, "And welcome Liz." So everybody knows my name down there. They know where I'm at in my training, and you can't hide. There's no blending in, because I kind of stand out down there. Even outside of school, like when I meet people I don't know, and they ask what I'm studying at school, and I tell them aviation, nobody usually expects it, so they all kind of act stunned and then have 1,000 questions that they want to ask afterwards. Unfortunately, all that attention isn't always positive. I've had teachers crack jokes about me in front of the whole class. I've had students openly doubt my abilities to fly in front of my peers. And I've had acquaintances that I've met tell me that it's a man's major and I'll probably drop out and get pregnant. This all kind of caught me off guard because, like I said, to me, gender didn't matter. I never thought of aviation as a men's field. I just wanted to do it, and I was going to do it. Nothing was going to stop me. And after experiences like those and drawing all that attention to me, it made me question myself and made me think maybe gender does matter, and maybe, in fact, it plays a huge role in what I'm trying to accomplish. It made me wonder if there were disadvantages to being a woman, that maybe being a woman was a weakness. Weakness is often defined as a lack of strength, firmness, or vigor. On the contrary, a strength is commonly described as a state of being strong, mentally or bodily power, vigor. There's one word they both shared there, vigor. Is that the difference between a strength and a weakness? The amount of vigor or energy that you put into it? It made me think, if I put vigor behind being a woman, if I put energy behind my femininity, would it turn it into a strength? I'm proud to say I never hid my femaleness, if you will. Whether it be ignorance or intelligence, I don't know. I just didn't shy away from who I was and what I was, and didn't let it stop me. I didn't try to talk like the boys, dress like the boys to fit in. I just stayed true to myself and tried to gain their respect that way. Some days it was hard, honestly it was, and I think about how much easier it would be to do something else sometimes. But one thing that helped me on those days was to remember that I believed gender didn't matter and that being a girl was not a barrier on my path. Nothing was going to change as I progressed in my major. It was always going to be male-dominated, and I was always going to be sort of the minority there. But I couldn't be afraid of that attention, or else I'd never be able to finish. Being a woman was something that set me apart, but it didn't have to be a bad thing. Why do we tell people they should be extracurricularly involved when they're in college or going to school? Why do we tell them to go get internships and try and gain experience? Isn't it so that they stand apart and they diversify their resume and show they have different qualifications? When people ask us our strengths, don't we tell them the things that set us apart, the things that we do well that maybe other people don't do as well? Well, I just said a lot of wells. But for me, being a woman made me different than the other interviewees in my field. Being a woman is something that sets me apart from the other applicants around me. Being a woman is something I do well. It's a strength, and we shouldn't try and hide it or let it make us feel inadequate. We should use it. The last thing I want to discuss is why. Why am I up here telling you these things, getting all nervous and jittery? To answer this, I think we need to ask why we're here tonight as a whole, the whole event. I think we're here to encourage you to continue, to encourage you to go and do the things you've dreamed of and the things that you've set goals to accomplish. We want you to finish and see the potential that you all have right now. So, again, why am I up here sharing the experiences that I have? It's because you all can do it, because I'm doing it, and because UVU gave me the tools to accomplish it. I'm here tonight telling you these things because you've all taken the first steps towards getting an education and accomplishing your goals. I'm going to give you a cheesy analogy to help explain it, but it's like we're all climbing a ladder, and you've all taken the first one or two rungs, and I'm just a few rungs up there, and I'm looking back at you saying, you can make it to where I am right now. It's easy. You can do it. In the bio that Haley read, it said that I love UVU and I love the students that attend here. It's super cheesy, I know, but it's 100% true. If I wasn't here at UVU, I would have never met that crazy girl Sarah and would have never been able to learn the things I did from her. If I wasn't here at UVU, I would have never been on this student council and had these experiences that helped teach me the skills that I will use for the rest of my life. They're invaluable to me. If I wasn't here at UVU working towards a degree, I wouldn't be chasing my life's passion. And to be honest, I think I'd be selling myself short. Throughout the stories I've shared, you may have noticed a theme or a phrase that I've kept repeating. I've said gender doesn't matter to me a few times throughout. And it's a mindset that I carry. It doesn't necessarily work for everyone, but it's worked for me. And it's how I kept my courage when facing a male-dominated major or running for office to a student body that I didn't even know. I'm not quite sure where it originated, but it's what's given me the power to go down paths less traveled. And so I want you all to find your motto. Find the thing that gives you strength, the reason why you're here. Think of your goals, think of that motto, and then don't let anything stand in your way. Thank you so much for having me here tonight, and I've shared my story. Hopefully it inspires some of you to go and make your own story.
Thank you, Liz. It's hard to follow that. When I was asked to participate in this tonight, I was so nervous because I felt that there's more women here tonight that deserve to be standing up here than me. And also because of a lot of fear I have in standing in front of people and speak in English. That's another fear I have. And so I'm not comfortable standing up here and talking about myself. I would rather that one of you be up here. But I've written my talk, and hopefully this will go well tonight. On a late September evening, my family and I, with 2 suitcases each, landed at Salt Lake City Airport, not sure what our future held. But with a dream so big, I, as a mother, knew we were going to make it. Even today, those dreams and goals still exist. And when I think of them, I can't hardly contain myself. I have goosebumps, literally goosebumps, every time I think of it. I want to jump and scream thinking about it every time I think of it, or when I'm sitting by myself, wondering what I'm going to do about it, wondering how I will accomplish it. This might sound crazy to you all, but I blame it on the child within me that hasn't left me, and I prefer it that way. You see, when my mother had to work after my father suddenly passed away in a car accident, it left me at 9 years old to be responsible for my 3 younger siblings. Jumping and screaming is not a new thing for me, because when mother gets home from work and pleased with what I have done at home with the kids and maintaining the cleanliness of our home, she rewarded me by letting me join other kids swimming in the river close to our home. I would run and jump off the platform, screaming until my body hits the water. Over and over, I will run and scream, the same time jump, hit the water, swim to the side, then do it all over again, in that order. However, I would throw in a few different styles of diving to the amusement of my peers on the other side of the riverbank, where it was shallow and safe. Some critiquing my style of diving, some clapping and giving me encouragement. That's where this feeling of jumping and screaming originated from when I think of my dreams and goals, but especially when I accomplish them. One of those goals is to attend college. After arriving in the United States, I waited for 12 years to finally make that goal happen. My youngest son started first grade in 2008. Everyone was going to school. My oldest twin girls were in high school, Tina in middle school, and my youngest 2 were both in elementary school. It was a new challenge, but a good challenge for me at that time. We kept a routine. We survived the change. Since then, my twin girls both graduated with full scholarship to 2 universities of their choices. Their younger sister, Tina, just signed last month with South Carolina State to play soccer. Michaela is in high school, with Zach still in elementary school. Even though my marriage with their dad didn't work out, each one of us, my children and I, are still striving to make our own dreams come true. Yes, right here in the United States, where we know dreams and goals can come true if we work hard enough. Even though coming back to school has been a goal for me, I had a lot of fear I had to conquer. And I'm sure a lot of us here tonight have the same fear. My fear of being a woman of minority, non-traditional students, among well-educated young students who are brilliant and speak very good English, made me feel so small my first semester. I quickly found a way to solve this issue and help me overcome the fear. I took classes and applied to be a UV mentor, where I had not only a 10 mentor, but not only attend and mentor about 25 students in a student success class, I also had to teach power processes. It was a challenge, but not big enough for the goals I had and which I need to accomplish. Those fears quickly vanished, now replaced by passion and love for education, and to assist those around me. Not only work harder, but to dream big and face the challenges head on, because I feel we are all more than our own fears and challenges. When I was awarded the Wolverine Achievement Award in the spring semester of 2009, I was pleased to learn that I would be sent a check as part of the award. This was around February. Thank you for UVU for that. By the time I received, I thought hard about the award and about the money I was getting. By the time I received the award, which I think it was around end of March, I knew what I wanted to do with the money. I wanted to go back home to Fiji and find something I can apply all these great learnings I have been fortunate to get in the United States. I visited the elementary school I attended 30 plus years ago. While there, just by what I saw, even before I walked into the classrooms and talked to the principal, I knew I had to do something. It was obvious that this place, the school, need help. That is where the first Fiji project was born. Although I had a great time with my family, after not seeing them for 7 years, I returned with a mission to go back and help children in the province I was raised in. I dropped another goal into my bucket of goals, but this Fiji goal was priority. It took me a year to put the literacy and sanitation project together before I approached Alexis Palmer and Mike Moon at the time at the Volunteer Learning Center. All they said was, write us a proposal. I said, thank you, stepped out of the office, take a deep breath, and worried. Worried because what am I going to write about? How do I write a proposal? My English, would they understand what I write? Those are some of the questions that came into mind. Luckily, within a few seconds after walking out of that office, right here on UVU campus, I see children of Weir District School and nearby villages. I see their families and parents who all they wanted a good education for their children, like I and my children have been blessed with. Remember that feeling? I want to run and scream and jump, consumed me again. The issue of Weir District was bigger than my issue of coming up with a proposal or the money to help with this particular school in the poorest part of Fiji. My education and experiences here at Utah Valley University and United States, it's something I won't take for granted. I am fortunate to be given this great opportunity to learn from great instructors and faculties who have positively impacted my life. Much of the fears I have in the past have been replaced by new fears, but I have come to know that deep down inside me, I know I can do anything if I put my mind into it and focus on the good I'm doing for myself and others instead of the fears. Fears are my motivators. Today, I love the challenges because those are the things that pushed me into the river and keep me swimming in the deep pool of life, with peers critiquing me, some clapping, some encouraging me on. Thank you, UVU, for giving me this great opportunity to attend this university and be enlightened and go out and be able to be a positive influence to those around me, especially to the people back in my home in Fiji. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Cherilyn Worthen, and I'm the director of the UVU Women's Choir. These ladies need a second to get on the risers, so as they're getting set up, I thought I would take a moment and introduce the piece that we're about to sing to you. This piece was written in 2011 by a Canadian composer named Stephen Hatfield, and I chose the piece for the repertoire for the ladies this semester, mainly because I think it's got beautiful, beautiful melodies and a beautiful piano accompaniment. And it was a wonderful coincidence when we tried to collaborate for this evening that the text in this piece works so well for the message of why we're here together this evening. So I'm just, I know the sound in here, it's a very big ballroom, so sometimes it's a little bit hard to hear. So I'm going to read this text so that you know what it is we're actually singing about. The title is Ripple Effect, and it's of course, about the idea that small motions and small acts have the ability to have great impact, and uses the image of water. Dip your fingers in the water and the rings will spread, and they spread to who knows how far away, to beyond what you see, beyond what you hear, like the voice of the candle when you pray. Let the air inhale your voices and the rings will spread, and they spread to who knows how far away, to beyond what you hope, beyond what you fear, to beyond the great beyond of night and day. Put your hand into the water, put your voices in the air, reaching for the air, who and why and where, for the rare sense of where voices turn to air. Dip your memory in the evening when it's time for bed, and your thoughts fly who knows how far away, to beyond the edge of the world, the pledge of the sea, to beyond the faces forming in the master's clay, the faces in the clay. Dip your fingers in the water there, send your voices to the air. We're accompanied this evening by Christy Lehman, and we hope you enjoy Ripple Effect.
Thank you, ladies, for sharing your talents with us. That was beautiful. I'm going to take a moment to introduce our keynote speaker for tonight, Paige Holland, who has been so great to join us here. Paige Holland was born in Salt Lake City and raised in Provo, Utah, where she attended Timpview High School and was very active in school athletics, student government, and competitive dance teams. In 1994, she graduated with a degree in communications from BYU, focusing her studies on broadcast journalism. The next year, she was hired as the assistant news director for the KBYU newsroom, where she ran the daily student news program for TV and radio and hosted several special feature programs. During this time, she also worked for the local Fox News affiliate as a weekend reporter and started a graduate program in communications. In 1996, she met and married Matt Holland, even though he was a proud graduate of Provo High School, Timpview High's arch rival. Paige absolutely loves living on the campus of UVU and actively helping Matt serve the institution and greater community, though her greatest delight and focus right now are their 4 children, Jake, who is 15, Mitzi, who's 13, Grace, who's 10, and Danny, who's 7. Please join me in welcoming Paige Holland.
Thank you so much. I am really happy to be here tonight. Wow, what a wonderful event this is. And to speak to you about something that is near and dear to my heart, women in education. Something I feel very deeply about and care very much about. Gotta look at my notes here. Let me just begin by thanking Anne Wyra Poe. I practiced that, Anne. and Haley and all those associated with the Women's Success Center for all the hard work you've put into organizing this event and for all that you do to help women in education. We are very grateful for you, and we are grateful to have such a wonderful program in place on our campus. I also want to thank the Liz's. It was really wonderful to hear their stories. I'm inspired by them, and I'm so proud of them and admire them. Let me thank Whitney Lunsford for her beautiful piano music, and also the women's choir. That was an absolutely beautiful number and perfect for what we want to talk about tonight, because a woman, when she has an education, it really does have a ripple effect. It affects every aspect of her life and the lives of those around her. And so thank you very much. And in fact, it made me think of that old proverb, educate a boy and you educate an individual, educate a woman and you educate a community. Education really does have that kind of a ripple effect. So for my theme tonight, I love this line from the award-winning poet Maya Angelou: when you know better, you do better. And I love this theme for 2 reasons. First of all, the greatest key to knowing better is education. And second, what I want to convey tonight is that by getting a college education, whatever it is you women choose to do with your life, you'll do it better if you have a college degree. It is really an exciting time to be a woman today. We have more support, more opportunities to pursue our dreams, whatever those dreams might be. And today women can make lots and lots of different choices, even if those choices are quite different. Choosing to be a doctor, a teacher, a businesswoman, to marry and be a stay-at-home mom. Whatever it is you choose to do, getting a college education is the key to doing any of these things better and to reaching your full potential. So as a way to illustrate this, I want to share with you a few personal experiences from my life and also a few research findings that make it very clear that it's more vital than ever for a woman to get a college education. So let me start by taking you through some of my educational highlights in my life. I will start from the very beginning. There I am. I feel very fortunate to come from a line of women who understood the importance of education. My mother was a school teacher. She taught grade school for 22 years. She happens to be here tonight. She's going to be mad at me, but I'm going to have her stand up so that you can all see her. I appreciate it. I appreciated her so much for coming tonight and supporting me, and I told her that I was going to talk a little bit about her so that she needed to be there. My mother's mother, Grandma June, went to college in the 1920s when most women didn't go to college. And I asked her one day, Grandma, what inspired you to go to college? And she said, well, my dad always told me that the best gift you can give yourself is to get a good education. And so she went on to teach elementary school for many years. And I did want to just tell you that my grandma died a couple of years ago at the age of 102. She was living on her own. She was driving on her own. And I believe that her health and longevity were directly related to her love for learning and education. And finally, my grandma Beth was an amazing woman, but she did not have a chance to get a formal education. Sometimes that's how it works out for people, and there's no shame in that, especially for those like my grandma who so loved learning that she became a self-taught librarian, and she worked at the Sandy City Library for over 20 years. So with this line of women who all took books and learning so seriously, how could I be named anything other than Paige? I mean, really. And just to make sure that no one got too carried away by the metaphor, my mother insisted on inserting an I in the middle of the word. So I am Paige. It works, doesn't it? I had to throw that in there. I was blessed with a mom who read to me daily and took me to the library weekly for years. And one of the things I love about women is that we tend to be nurturers. Maybe you had a mother like that who read to you regularly, maybe you didn't. And maybe you have children or will have children someday, or maybe you won't. But I believe that we can all learn as women to do our part to read to children and inspire the next generation. Because I was read to as a child, books became fun and exciting and a habit for me. Some of my favorite books were The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein, a story of unconditional love and giving that still touches my heart and makes me cry. Also a favorite was Silverstein's poetry, Where the Sidewalk Ends. It was clever, and it made me laugh, and it made me think, and I always have loved it. And another was Are You My Mother, about a hatchling bird's adventurous search for his mother. And as I got a little bit older, Charlotte's Web taught me about the power of true friendship. I have such fond memories of reading with my mother when I was young, and I know it had a big impact on my education and my life. In fact, there is so much evidence about the power of childhood reading. Consider these benefits of children who regularly participate in reading. They improve their relationship with their parents, speech skills, ability to process information, communication and logical thinking skills, ability to encounter new experiences, concentration and behavior, and understanding of emotions. And most importantly, reading helps children to see that education can be fun. That is certainly how I felt when I started school. It's my kindergarten picture. And I felt that way thanks in large part to the reading my mother did with me. So here again, I was fortunate to be raised by a mother and grandmas who knew good books to read to me. And they knew them because they were educated. And now, with my own children, I'm trying to do the same and to read to them regularly. As I grew older and got into high school, I had opportunities to get involved in a lot of extracurricular activities that really enhanced my education. I had a hard time knowing what pictures I was going to put in here. That dress I'm wearing in that top slide, that is denim, by the way. Goes all the way to my ankles. Weighed about 10 or 15 pounds and was very warm. But I wore it a lot because I thought it looked good with my frizzy permed hair. True 80s fashion. But these extracurricular activities really taught me a lot. Of course, these kinds of activities should not take precedence over your formal studies, but they really can enhance your learning experience. Even if you were not the kind of person to get involved in high school extracurricular activities, I would encourage you to start now here at UVU. Engaged learning opportunities are everywhere on this campus, and they can add so much to your educational experience. I know that my husband, Matt, and other leaders and faculty have really been working hard to create opportunities for engaged learning all over campus. Opportunities like student government clubs and activities, academic lectures and conferences, and career pathway internships. I encourage you to get involved. Another thing that I experienced, and that I want to stress the importance of to you tonight, is getting connected to a good mentor or two while you're here at UVU. Let me tell you about one of my important mentors and the difference he made in my life while I was in college. As I began college, I was excited but apprehensive, not really knowing what I wanted to study. I started out thinking I'd studied nursing, but then I took a few communications classes and found that I was really enjoying them. I had a professor named Dale Cressman who really made a difference in my educational experience. I loved his classes, I liked his style and the way he taught, and I worked really hard in his classes and did pretty well. So I took initiative to meet with him and took opportunities during his office hours to visit with him and learn from him and seek his counsel. And over the course of doing so, he's told me, you know, you could do this professionally. Now, on my own, I really didn't have that kind of confidence in myself, but he believed in me and he gave me the training and the teachings to help me succeed. So find a mentor, take initiative and go talk to him or her and get good advice, and really listen and learn. You'll be amazed what you can accomplish with the help of a mentor. I learned early on that education really is the ultimate life preserver. I think a lot of young girls come to college thinking that they'll start on their degree, maybe go for a year or two, and hopefully find a handsome, educated husband who will sweep them off their feet, and they'll end up in a lovely little home with a white picket fence and never have to think about education again. And I guess I think a lot of women think like this because I kind of thought like that. And sometimes people have dreams like this and they do come true, and that's wonderful if they do. Some people might look at my life right now and assumed that that's how it worked for me, but it didn't, not at first. There are a lot of times when dreams don't work out or don't work out on the timetable that you thought, and you need to be prepared for that. It's essential to be prepared for when life throws you a curveball and difficult situations occur. Some of you might already know that because you might be in those tough situations right now. The rest of you, no matter how good your life seems right now, you need to be prepared for the possibility of those situations. When I was in college, I made a very crucial decision, one of the most important decisions and best decisions I've ever made. I made the determination that I was going to finish my college degree, no matter what. Even though my greatest dream was to marry and have children and raise a family, deep down inside of me, I just knew I had to finish that degree. It took some real determination. It wasn't easy. My parents were not in a position to help me financially, so I had to do it entirely on my own with jobs and loans and with trying to keep my grades up to get a scholarship or two. I had to overcome doubters, people who knew me well and said, "I don't think you'll ever finish your degree." And rather than letting those statements depress me and discourage me, I chose to let those statements spur me on and prove those people wrong. And I did. I finished my degree, and I was proud of my accomplishment. But what I didn't fully understand just yet is how grateful I would be for it. Thinking a happy marriage was my immediate destiny, I found myself not long after this in a very dark and lonely place. The details of how I got to this place are not important, except to say that in my mid-20s, when I thought I'd be well on my way to having children and living a nice little suburban life, I was instead all on my own and frightened, very frightened about the future. Along with my faith, the thing that truly saved me and blessed me the most during this very difficult time was my college degree. It was a life preserver because it allowed me to get a great job at a university. And along with my job, I had good benefits, and I made really smart, supportive, wonderful friends, and I had opportunities. I started graduate school. I was able to get a second job at a network affiliate where I made even more money, a little bit more, and had more opportunities. And none of that would have happened had I not had a college degree. So I can tell you right now that if I hadn't had that degree at that time of my life would have been so much more painful and terrifying. I can't even begin to say how critical these things were to get me through that hard time. And they only came into my life because I had a good degree from a good school with some really good experiences under my belt, made possible by the advantages of university programs. So with my degree finally getting me back on my feet again during this time of unexpected challenge, I was then thrown another curveball. I met Matt Holland. Sorry, honey. Once again, I was knocked off my feet, but this time in a good way. So let me just rephrase that. I was swept off my feet. I admired many things about Matt as I got to know him, starting with the fact that he valued education and was working on a PhD and sacrificing to go to graduate school. Given how much more I'd come to value my own education and what it had done for me, I loved the priority that Matt put on education and what that would do and mean family-wise if things worked out between us, if you know what I mean. And indeed, things did work out between us. Thank goodness. And I kind of like to think that I also swept him off his feet. Ladies, I can assure you, this picture, it is not photoshopped. We call that the Toyota jump of love. Not long after this moment, the other great joy of my life, my children started to arrive. That picture is about 8 years old, and here is a more current family photo. Now here's the interesting discovery in my life. When I hit a really challenging point, my degree made all the difference. But the very same thing proved to be the case when my dreams did come true. Again, I go back to the Maya Angelou phrase, everything I do that really matters to me right now, I feel I can do better because I have a college degree. I use it every day in teaching my children and helping them with schoolwork and assignments. I use it in my community work, things I do for the PTA and my church service. I use it in working with my husband on university projects, issues, and initiatives. Of course, there are many good people out there who do really great things and do them without a degree. But I just know that for me, in my life, the most important things in my life are better than they would be because of that crucial decision I made as a young girl that I would complete my degree. I now want to share with you some of the latest research regarding the benefits of education in every aspect of our lives. I'd like to thank Dr. Susan Madsen, as well as this wonderful group of presidential interns, for gathering much of this data that I'm about to share. As many of you know, Dr. Madsen has led a statewide effort to explore the reasons for low participation of women in higher ed in the state of Utah. And the students who participate in the presidential internship program have also worked collectively on research related to the impact education can have on our lives. One of the most obvious benefits of obtaining a higher education is the improvement of earning potential. Just by receiving a bachelor's degree, you would add an average of $21,900 more to your yearly income. This translates to over $1.2 million in a lifetime. And as you can see from this chart, the more education you receive, the greater your average annual income. To those of you who are currently in college, you might note the jump from the orange line to the light blue line, showing an additional $14,000 increase simply by finishing your bachelor's degree. More education leads to better jobs, access to health care, lower unemployment, and preparation to support self and family. Single mothers who do not pursue college are 3 times more likely to be in poverty than single mothers who receive at least a bachelor's degree. Many of you in this room are here at UVU pursuing your degree, and I commend you for that. But as you can see, even those with some college are twice as likely to be in poverty than those who actually finish their degree. Higher levels of education also influence our family lives. The higher the education level, the more likely people are to get married and stay married. The more a woman is educated, the less likely she is inclined to enter into an abusive relationship and allow others within the home to be abused. In terms of parenting, you can see what more education can do for a mother. I'll let you take a moment to read through this. It's remarkable to see the difference a college degree can make in the relationship between parents and children. Education also has a significant impact on our overall health and well-being. It's amazing to see these things. An educated woman lives longer on average, has an overall healthier lifestyle, is less likely to be overweight or obese, has an increased life satisfaction and overall happiness, and is more resilient and less depressed, better mental health. And how can this be? Don't get too intimidated by this next slide. I'm going to quickly go through it because it's so interesting. The greater the educational attainment, the more health knowledge you'll have. So you'll make better decisions about nutrition, exercise, avoiding drugs and alcohol, knowing how to manage health and disease, and that all leads to better health. More educational attainment means you'll get a better job. You'll have better working conditions with less exposure to hazards. You'll have more control over your work schedule, which leads to less stress. You'll have more work-related resources, health insurance, sick leave, retirement benefits, and other benefits. And your income, like we talked about, will be better. You'll have better housing. You'll live in a better neighborhood, eat better food, and have less stress. And all those things give overall better health. We know that college attainment also provides a tremendous sense of civic responsibility and engagement. And as you can see from this slide, education levels are directly related to volunteer rates, voting rates, and charitable donations. In summary, education leads to better lifelong learning skills to help us in critical thinking, creative thinking, and perhaps, most importantly, decision making. So much of what I have just covered starts with making informed and educated decisions and broadening perspectives, opportunities, and horizons. My plea with you tonight is don't give up. Choose to complete at least a certificate program, if not a 2-year degree, and hopefully a 4-year degree if you can. I promise you that it will make all the difference in your life and the lives of your children and your family, and it will allow you to make a real contribution and provide meaningful service in the world around you. I would also like to tell you that what I am saying to you right now is the exact message that I am giving my daughters. Some of you here seem like you could be my daughters. Others remind me of my sister. And others of you are kind of like my mother. And just like I love my daughters, and I love my sister, and I love my mother, I love and care about each of you and want you to have what's best for you. And so my message to one and all is this. The world today is uncertain and complex. When I was young, higher education was important for a woman. Today, it is absolutely crucial. And so when it gets tough, just keep going. To quote one last sentiment from Maya Angelou, you may encounter defeats, but you must not be defeated. In fact, it may be necessary to encounter the defeats so you can know who you are, what you can rise from, how you can still come out of it. When I look out over this audience, I see women of destiny. I see women who will change lives, communities, corporations, and the country. And what I know is that that destiny truly hinges on your commitment to completing your higher education experience. I wish you every good success and best blessing in doing so. Thank you very much.
We just want to give one more round of applause to our presenters and as well as our performers for sharing with us tonight. Thank you, guys. We just want to give a special thank you to some of those who have really contributed to the program tonight. We want to invite Paige back up and give her something. We'd also like to invite both Liz's up real fast. We'd also like to invite Sherilyn and Whitney up for providing our music for us this evening. We'd also like to thank UVU Dining Services for providing the food tonight. It was delicious. And Mia's Italian Ice, which we also got here, she is an alumni of UVU and has started her own business. We also want to thank the UVU bookstore for donating the book scholarships that we're going to give out tonight. So we're going to hurry and do a drawing for those. Do we have the tickets ready? Thank you, Aubrey. So we also have some UVU stuff to give out too. So first ticket is 742664. First time winning. Okay, the next ticket is 742631. Anyone? Yeah? Chelsea? Next ticket is 742660. Men can come to ladies' night too. Okay, the next ticket is 742662. Yeah, in the back, there we go. Thanks. All right, next is 742677. No, not so much, Kay. Okay, 742670. Oh, another guy, yeah. There you go. So we announced that we had two $100 bookstore scholarships, but we actually were able to get 3 tonight. So there will be 3 winners for the bookstore scholarships. Okay, first bookstore scholarship goes to 742636. Next one is 742686. Yes. All right, and the last one. 742623. Well, thank you everyone for coming. We're done, but there's still some dessert if you want to grab some, and feel free to mingle. Thank you for coming.